welcome back on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to make a deep dive in the blending work of this miniature. I start with mixing some paints. I am going to mix all types of skin tones which I will use later because I want to keep the flexibility to go very fast from the darkest to the lighter tones during the blending process. I am using a retarder medium. This makes that the paint is drying slower, and this has several advantages. Firstly, it is giving you the chance to work every blending until it's perfect. Secondly, if you are very fast, you could even try wet in wet blendings. And last but not least, it has the same consistency as very well mixed paint, which allows you to make thin layer of well mixed paint and apply them one after the other. I am starting with the blending of the face. The face is a very important part of the miniature, and I will do a dedicated video later on. However, at that stage I am just making a first blending because where the light is going to fall on the face is going to be crucial for the rest of the body. I will use it later as a guide for especially the right side of the miniature, so where the light will really fall, the lightest part, in order to set correctly the light, and then maybe later on I am going to recorrect this blending when I will work on the final stage of the face. If you like my work, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. This helps a lot. Thank you very much. Here you can see how the blending work really works. So we are going to make some surfaces first, a bit like on the drafting part. First we are going to make a lighter surface, and then here I am applying a little bit of red and darker colors, especially on the cheeks, because very often, especially ladies, have red cheeks, or let's say a bit more red in the skin at that position. So I am just applying the surfaces first, applying lighter and darker colors, and then I am working on the transition between the colors. So basically blending is made of these two parts, and if you want the blending to be vibrant, really brilliant, then you need to apply these several thin layers of lighter colors. Rather go from the light to the darks and from the dark to the light. This is working as well, but it's not as brilliant as in the other direction. am working on the transitions. This is taking a while because I am applying basically a very big number of very thin coats. But then once it's finished, this is how it looks. So of course, during the transition process, you are again reducing a bit the contrast of the areas you are putting inside of the transition. So you are basically reducing from both sides, from the darker colors up to the lighter, and from the lighter down to the darker, until you get the smoothest possible transition. The next part of the blending work will be the arm and then the back. The face is now as finished as I wanted at that stage, so it means there is just a light blending on the right side. And now I am starting with definitive work, so the blendings on the arm and on the back are not meant to be recorrected later on. I am now working on the core work of the blending, so to say. The only things which might change at the end is you can make some detail works, or maybe I'm going to do some washes with the airbrush at the very end, I don't know yet. But the main tones are going to be applied now. Especially on the back, I want her skin to be really kissed by the sun. This is the reason why on the lightest tones I am applying a bit more beige than I would do usual, because remember, on her back there is going to be a sunset, so I really want the skin to reflect a bit this sunlight. Here you can see that there are different parts of getting darker. So on one hand you have the shadowy parts like under the arm. On these parts I am going to apply a dark brown almost black, but it's really dark. And the transition is going to be very fast. And then there is a second kind of dark, which is a more kind of darker skin. So it's still the same effect. It means that the skin is not directly exposed to the sun. But on the back, or let's say the end of the back, I want the skin to be more orange, because when the sun is hitting the skin but not straight, just with a diagonal, then the color is still vibrant. It's not going in the dark. And to reflect this effect, I am applying a very reddish mix, almost orange, under the skin, and then I am making the transition with a lighter color. Now the light side of her back is finished, and we are going to start to work on the booty. You may notice that I am going to have a much lighter color on the booty than on the back. The reason for that is that there is a tissue on the booty which is going from the back to the front. I am going to apply a transparency effect, which I will detail in a separate video, but the transparency effect is going to take me contrast out of the skin. So I am just putting a bit more contrast, a bit more brightness to have the room to take it away again when I am going to put the transparency. Especially the transition on the lower part of the booty were not easy at all, because I was struggling a bit to find the point where I should go to a more reddish skin tone and then directly down to the darkest tone. So in that case, I just put a transition and then again a new skin tone, then a transition again, a new skin tone, a transition again, a new skin tone. I repeated the process several times until the transition was placed where I really want it to be. We are now arriving at the end of this video. Thank you for watching. You maybe noticed that I put much more comments about what I'm doing in this video than in a previous one. Let me know if you comment if you prefer videos with more or less explanation. I wish you a nice time and a happy painting. See you on the next video. Bye bye.